Hello, Mr. This meeting of the City of Socorro Board of Adjustments is set to begin. First and foremost, the City of Socorro would like to thank everyone and ask for your patience during this difficult time we have been presented with. Everyone, please remember to silence any electronics to avoid sound interruption. No disruptive behavior or outbursts will be tolerated, and violators are subject to call disconnection and possible prosecution. In accordance with Section 418.016 of the Texas Government Code, and by order of the Office of the Governor issued March 16, 2020, the Board of Adjustments for the City of Socorro will broadcast the meeting scheduled today, August 27, 2020, at 6 p.m. from City Hall chambers located at 860 Rio Vista Road, Socorro, Texas, via telephone conference and live stream in order to advance the public health goal and practice social distancing to slow the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19. The public that signed up and any presenters will be called upon by the presiding officer during the meeting to speak during the public comment or their agenda item during the meeting following Government Code 551.042. La Junta de Ajustes de la Ciudad de Socorro está por empezar. Primeramente, queremos darles las gracias y pedimos su paciencia durante estos momentos críticos que enfrentamos. Favor de poner en silencio todo equipo electrónico para evitar interrupción del sonido. No se va a tolerar ningún tipo de comportamiento perjudicial o revoltoso. A quien no siga estas reglas, su llamada será desconectada y puede ser infraccionado. De acuerdo con sección 418.016 del Código del Gobierno de Texas y por orden de la Oficina del Gobernador, anunciada el 16 de marzo de 2020, la Junta de Ajustes de la Ciudad de Socorro transmitirá su reunión hoy, jueves 27 de agosto de 2020, a las 6 de la tarde, desde la sala de concilio, localizada en 860 Rio Vista Road, Socorro, Texas, por medio de teléfono y será transmitida en vivo para tomar medidas preventivas para prevenir la propagación de la enfermedad del virus corona a los demás y para la seguridad del público. El público y los presentadores serán anunciados por el oficial conduciendo la reunión para poder hablar durante la sección del comentario público o después de la discusión del artículo de la agenda por cual se apuntaron siguiendo las reglas del gobierno 551.042.
Mr. Trujillo, you want to call to order the meeting? You're muted. We cannot hear you. You're muted. You need to turn on your microphone.
All right, it is 6:10. This meeting is now called to order. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Item number 2, establishment of quorum.
Can you call out the names of the board members present for this forum?
Mr. Rudy Cruz,
Present.
Mr.
Here.
Arras,
Hello.
We can
Ben.
hear you.
Mr.
Can you hear
Arras,
me?
Mr. Arras, you're muted.
I can hear you, Mr. Cruz.
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay.
Mr. Arras,
Present.
Mr. Dominguez, Mr. Dominguez,
I think he's absent.
Mr. Chaires,
Here.
Mr. Oropesa,
Present.
Mr. Renteria,
Present.
and Mr. Trujillo.
Present.
Item number 3, excuse absent commission members. Do we have a motion to excuse Mr. Dominguez?
Motion to excuse Mr. Dominguez from the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
I'm sorry, who said it?
Robert Renteria?
Now I'm gonna take your votes. Mr. Cruz,
Aye. Yes.
Mr. Arras,
Yes.
Mr. Dominguez. I'm sorry, Mr. Shaides,
Yes.
Mr. Oropesa,
Yes.
Mr. Renteria.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, reading of the Board of Judgment statement.
The Board of Adjustments of the City of Socorro is now in session. This board is established under Article 211-008 of the Local Government Code to permit the correction of the inequities in the application of the zoning ordinance according to specific legal rules. Your application will decide only after you have had the chance to present evidence before the board for its consideration. Other parties interested in your case may also be heard at this time. No consultation among board members has been held in advance regarding your case. This board does not act in an arbitrary manner. You may feel that this application of the zoning ordinance, your situation will result in hardship to you, but this does not necessarily mean that this board has the power to grant you relief unless the facts of your case are such that the board must act on them. You may be sure full consideration will be given to your case, and following this hearing, you will promptly notify of the board's decision. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 5, swearing of all persons giving testimony. Diana, do we have any applicant on the line?
There are no applicants on the line.
Item number 6, consider and take action on the approval of the meeting minutes of July the 23rd, 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve? Second.
Who said it? I'm sorry.
Robert Renteria?
Do I have a second?
Second. By Rudy Cruz?
Second by Rudy Cruz. Now I'm gonna take your votes. Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Arras,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Shaides,
Yes.
Mr. Oropesa,
Yes.
Mr. Renteria.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item number 7, consider and take action on the proposed variance for the Muni Code, Chapter 46-238, 2D, related to the rear required for setback from 25 to 15.7 feet to allow an existing structure to remain as a build on Lot 7, Block 3, Aljo Estates, located at 217 Wetumpka Lane. Do I have a motion?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Joe Terrazas, Planning and Zoning Department. This case was presented to you in the last meeting. It was postponed because the applicant was given the opportunity to bring in a letter from the neighbors to show that they do not disagree. What you see on the screen right there is the letter that was brought in. So the applicant went ahead and he provided the letter that was asked as a part of the condition for the approval of this variance request. If you remember, this property is located on Wetumpka. I'm gonna put it on the screen here real quick so you can just remember which one it was. There's a structure, the one that you see with the gray roof, that was added after the first buildings were established. By adding this little structure here, they're encroaching into the setbacks. And the reason they're asking for the variance is so that they can be allowed to keep the addition that was added after the fact. So I don't know if you have any questions about the letter that was brought in. According to the owner, he went around with all the owners or the neighbors, and he got the letter of approval. Do you
Joe, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The people that signed off on this letter that he went around,
Yes.
I noticed on one of the letters said apartment A. Did he go up and approach the owners of actual properties or people that are renting property around there?
According to the applicant, he went and he approached whoever lives around the property. I don't know if, remember,
So we don't-
we had a
So aren't we
conversation
supposed
that-
to get it from people that actually own property and not people that are renting around there?
Yeah, so we didn't verify the ownership. I don't know if the signatures that are shown on the letter are the owners or
I would imagine it'd have to be the owners for it to be valid.
Yes, I agree.
We did ask for 3 signatures, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's 4?
Yes, he got more, he provided more than what you asked for.
Okay. So you complied with our order?
That's correct.
Okay, but the question that Mr. Cruz brought about, is there people that signed out on this item that are renting or they own properties in that particular area?
Well, like I said, we didn't verify the ownership, but he did provide the addresses where the signatures came from. And they also provided a phone number in case the board wanted to call or confirm, or there's all the contact information provided to us. And the address that are shown, they are properties that surround this area.
Okay, the question that was brought about from Mr. Cruz, is there signatures signed off by people who are renting in the particular area or they own the properties in that area?
We don't know, Mr. Trujillo. We don't know if they're the owners or the tenants.
I would imagine for it to be valid, it'd have to be people that actually own the property around them.
Correct.
Because the request that I brought when this item came about was to get at least 3 signatures from people who own the properties and reside in the area, not people who are renting.
Yes, sir.
Now, the only reason that I brought this up is only to protect the Board of Adjustments and the city of Socorro. So we actually need these signatures from people who own the properties, not that they are renting, because this would not be valid. You understand, Mr.
Yes,
Joe?
sir. Yes, sir. Do you have any other questions?
I would have to ask the rest of the board members how they feel about this one.
Can we just call somebody? One of these, they provided a number here. It could be possible that one of the people living in apartment A or apartment B is the actual owner of the property. Is there any way we could just give them a call? Because we have 2 that are actual owners, and 2 are in apartment A and apartment B. can we give that call or what do we do?
I'm looking at the owners of the properties right now as we speak, and I'm able to verify the one in the bottom, Alberto Torres. He is the owner of the property on the left. Mr. Christian Boucher, he's the owner of the property in the back.
So there we go. I think we have 3 that are actual owners.
You mentioned two.
I think I heard two.
Yeah, but one, okay. So we just need to verify 229 Randy Boytoin.
Randy Boykin.
I just looked it up and he is showing on EPCAT as the owner. Or actually, it's a Socorro Boykin, same last name.
Yes.
So we're good.
We have 3 property owners that he complied with.
Yes, and
Agreed.
Alberto Torres is also one of the owners there.
Was that Boyden?
I confirmed Alberto Torres, Christian Boucher. Those are the only ones that I was able to confirm so far.
Did this person by the last name of Boyden, did he sign out on this request?
No, nobody is on the line. Nobody signed up to speak. And I cannot find the property owned by Boykin, 229 Retunca. I don't know where that property is located. I cannot confirm it.
Okay, the request was asked for 3 signatures of people who own the properties in that particular area. So we have 2. We need one more, Mr. Joe.
Okay. So does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to table until we verify the 3rd signature, the third owner.
I second that motion. Now, it's not that I'm trying to give a hard time here on this item. I just trying to protect the Board of Adjustments. We have a clean record. And we don't wanna, somebody out there trying to file a lawsuit because we didn't go by the codes and regulations. So I second Mr. Cruz's motion.
I have a motion made by Mr. Cruz to table and seconded by Mr. Trujillo. I'm gonna take you both. Mr. Cruz,
Aye.
Mr. Arras,
Yes.
Mr. Chaires,
Yes.
Mr. Oropesa,
Yes.
Mr. Renteria,
Yes.
Motion carry with 6 members in favor. Item number 8, consider and take action on the proposed variance request to Muni Code Section 415, 3C, related to the setback required from major arterial for lots 6 and 7, Block 1, 3 Missions subdivision at 10570 and 10580 North Loop Drive.
On this request, they're also asking for a variance. I'm gonna show you the property here on the screen. This property is located at 10570 and 10580 North Loop. This property is next to the post office. This is where the post office is located right now. Next to it, you're gonna see some storages, some self-storage buildings. So what they're asking here, the property that is surrounded by the yellow line, they're asking for a variance to be allowed to build more of these self-storage buildings. However, on Muni Code Section 48, 3C, the ordinance requires a 60-foot setback. The way they have the existing self-storage buildings, if you measure from the edge of this building to the front, you have approximately 40 feet. So what they want to do is they want to build more of those buildings, but they want to make them to be in line with the existing structures. This property is about 1,000 feet from the intersection of Rio Vista. This is Rio Vista over here. The property was rezoned to C2 in 1992. It's owned by National Self Storage Travis Morrow. The land was platted in 1999. So they're asking for a 20-foot variance. I'm also gonna show you a survey. Here's the survey. As you can see, these are the structures that they're proposing. They wanna have them to all be in line. They're proposing to have one entrance in the front, and everything else here will be self-storage buildings. They're proposing to put asphalt around it and additional self-storage buildings along the perimeter. Do you have any questions about this petition?
What is the planning and zoning marking on this one?
So the Planning and Zoning Department is recommending the denial of this application because, number one, as you can see on your backup, this is considered something that is contrary to the public interest. This is something that is going to benefit a particular business owner. It's not gonna serve the public. Number two, literal enforcement of the ordinance will not result in unnecessary hardship. The reason is because they are not obligated to build. This is something that they just want to do. It's not that they have to. And the third reason is because they do not meet the spirit of the ordinance. You cannot obtain substantial justice by granting this variance. Those are the three conditions that they need to meet, and unfortunately, they don't meet any of them. That's the reason why we cannot approve it, and that's the other reason why they had to come to the Board of Adjustments to see if this is something that the board would like to allow. However, if you allow this variance to proceed, it could be seen as preferential treatment or arbitrary, because remember, it's serving only a particular business owner. It's not for the public.
That being said, I, motion to deny.
Seconded.
Do I have a second?
I seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Cruz. Now I'm gonna take your vote. Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Arras,
Yes.
Mr. Shides,
Yes.
Mr. Oropesa,
Yes.
Mr. Renteria.
Yes.
Motion carried with 6 members in favor. Item number 10, adjournment.
Commissioners, I just want to make a clarification. There was a mistake on the agenda. If you look at the numbers on the items, we skipped number 9. That was just a typo. That's the reason why we put the adjournment as item number 10. We apologize for that. That was just a typo.
Okay.
So does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Mr. Renteria. Now I'm gonna take my vote. Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
Mr. Arras,
Yes.
Mr. Shides,
Yes.
Mr. Oropesa,
Yes.
Mr. Renteria.
Yes.
Motion carried with 6 members in favor. Meeting is adjourned at 6:35.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye, guys.
Night.
Bye-bye, thank you.